Alright, seeing as though I now have at least one, not at least one video, seeing as though I have one video under my belt, I feel like it's probably time to introduce myself and what this channel is all about. This is kind of my way of getting my view about basically anything I really want, getting my view about anything out to you, the viewers, and you, my friends. You're all my friends. So the first thing I want to mention is most of the videos that I do make and that I will make basically have no kind of preparation to them. The last video, which was the New Year's video, I basically made up on the spot. And it goes without saying that this introduction is made without preparation also. So sorry if it seems a little bit choppy or unprepared, but you know what? I feel like the less preparation I do, the more authentic it makes it and the more personal it makes it. I speak Spanish and English, obviously. I'm speaking English right now. I've studied Spanish for 4 years now-ish, and I believe that language is one of the most important things that anybody ever could study. You know what? I'm gonna make this video about language. Alright, so I apologize if you were going in expecting an intro, but you know what? This is gonna be about language, and I'll fix the title. Originally it was just gonna say like introduction, channel intro or something, but now it's gonna be like introduction / language. Here's kind of my 2 cents on why I feel language is so important. First of all, everybody speaks a language. This seems like common sense. I apologize for the lack of continuity with that light right there. I had a little bit of a recording issue, so I had to restart the recording. Anyways, what I was going and saying was language is something that everybody uses every single day, whether or not they realize it and whether or not they actually think about it. And I think the thing with most people who only speak one language is that they don't realize there's a whole lot of benefits that come from speaking more than one language. And when I talk about the benefits, here's kind of what I mean. Say you have a job at like a restaurant or any place where you're serving people and interacting with people directly. Now, I live in Michigan. English is obviously the majority language spoken here, but every now and then I'll encounter people who speak Spanish or French, and this is always kind of a fun experience for me because when you're able to speak a different language and speak the language of somebody who might not know your language as well, you really have a more meaningful interaction with them, and most of the times they're pretty impressed. I, for one, know I would be really, maybe not even impressed, but I'd be really happy if I went in somewhere not expecting English to be spoken, and all of a sudden everybody speaks English, or everybody speaks Spanish, or a language that I know. And the reason why I really think this is important is because meaningful interactions are ways that end up developing into something that you're not really expecting. For example, you can make a new friend. You can get a new business connection. Could help you land a job down the road. You know, things like that where you're interacting with people that you may not know initially, but just because you speak their language or are able to relate to them a lot easier, that could lead to possible benefits down the road. And that's why speaking somebody's language is not only impressive to them, but also could benefit you. In addition, the second thing I kind of wanted to bring up is the fact that language goes beyond the language that you're learning, and the skills that you're learning by learning a foreign language can also apply back to the language that you already speak. I'll give the example of what happened when I learned Spanish. So growing up as a native English speaker, I never really thought about the components of my own language, and the parts of speech and the things that we do and say, and all that kind of things, all the little mannerisms that are really essential to a language. I never really thought about that in English. However, when I started high school and started studying Spanish, I started to notice these little things that we would learn in Spanish class that related back to English. For example, a lot of the technical names for things that we do in English also exist in Spanish, but I never realized that they existed in English because I just grew up speaking it. But now that I realize that they're in both languages, it's a lot easier to compare and to learn more about the language you already speak. And this can help you out not just in a foreign language class, but it's actually helped me out in my English class. So basically what I'm saying is language extends far beyond the language you're learning itself. Language can extend into other areas such as languages that you already know. It can help with your people skills. And this is why I really think that it's important that people should at least try to learn at least one other language as early on as possible. And I also think that it's really beneficial to continue trying to learn languages throughout your entire life. Whether or not you pick one period of time to study, Spanish for 5-6 years, or another strategy I know is maybe trying different languages little bits at a time and seeing what you can learn from a multitude of different languages and taking the basics from each one and comparing them and relating them to other languages. Anyways, that was my little intro / language talk. I'm sorry for the lack of structure here, but that essentially gives you a little idea of what this channel is basically going to be about. I don't really have any set topic that I talk about. I usually think of it the day of, literally minutes before, and sometimes even while I'm talking. I thought of language literally as I started talking about my personal life. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you share this with your friends and keep being awesome.